What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another lesson. In today's lesson, we're going to be doing something a little different from the norm, and we're going to be taking a look at some guitar licks to get into lead playing if you're just getting into it or you're kind of already there and you're looking for some new licks to play. So these guitar licks are going to be from beginner to intermediate level, somewhere in between. Some of them are harder than others, some are easier. And so, yeah, these are just designed to give you guys extra tools to add to your toolbox and help you out as a lead player. Now, before I get started, I just want to let you guys know that in this video, there will be 3 licks we'll be taking a look at. And if you like what you're seeing, I do have a Patreon page where I'll have 2 additional licks as well as some guitar tab with these licks on my Patreon page. So I'll leave that link down below in the description box, and I'd really appreciate if you guys check that out. So without any further ado, let's jump right into this. So this first lick we're going to take a look at is relatively easy. And all of these licks here are going to be looking at hammer-ons and pull-offs. So it's a technique very widely used in the guitar community, and so these licks will help not only strengthen your abilities in hammering on and pulling off, but it will give you these licks to use. So first one, you're going to start on your B string, 5th fret, with your 3rd finger, and then you're going to pull off. And to do a pull off, you just kind of like pull your finger away from the string, like almost a jolt, right? So this finger will be planted on your 3rd fret, and you pull off just like that. So that's your first one. And then your second one, you're pulling off to open B. And with the picking hand, what I'd recommend to help with coordination in that hand as well is the first time you go down. The second time, go up. And gradually you can speed that up over time. And then on top of that, you can do this in different places. And so a very famous song that actually utilizes this technique is Crazy Train by Ozzy Osbourne. So that famous so right in there, Randy Rhoads was doing this lick. So first pull off, second pull off, and 3rd pull off. And so that's that technique just used on different strings. Now the second lick we're going to take a look at here will be a variation of what we were just doing, but now you're adding a hammer on. So the other one was only looking at pull offs. Now we're going to add a hammer on, and it's just a variation on that first one. So you'll still have this aspect where you're going, but this time, instead of starting on your 5th fret B, you're going to start on your 3rd fret B. So you'll start on your 3rd, and then your 3rd finger is going to hammer onto your 5th fret B. And so now after that hammer on, then you do your pull-off sequence that you did in your other lick. So 3rd fret, hammer on to 5th, pull off to 3rd, pull off to open, and speed it up. So you're adding that extra note, which makes it sound even more difficult when really you're just adding that one extra step. It's not that much more difficult than the other lick we were looking at. It's just a little bit faster, and you've added that extra note. And now a real world example where there is a variation of this lick being used is actually Alex Lifeson of Rush in the song YYZ. And so that's a very iconic part of that solo in that song. And it's the exact same technique, just being moved around. And that's the beauty of these licks that we have is, you know, you can play it on the B string there. You can play it on the G string. You can play it on the D. And you're not confined to those frets either. You can move it around. For example, YYZ. And now the fret pattern will change, and the distance between the frets will change, but the technique itself, the principle is exactly the same. Hammer on, pull off, pull off. So the next lick we're going to take a look at here is going to be a little bit more difficult. So the last one might be more difficult as well. This one will get even harder because now we're looking at working in between the strings. So this one will be focusing only on pull offs, but you're going to be jumping strings. And so it's going to sound something like this. And so you're going to really need to utilize your right hand alternate picking, down, up, down, up. And so to play this lick, you're going to go 3rd fret E, pull off to open E, and that's a downstroke in your right hand. Now on your B string, 3rd fret B, upstroke in your right hand, and you're pulling off to open B. And now you can use 2 fingers here. You can use 1 finger. You can experiment. You can try and use each finger individually. That's good practice to get your dexterity up in your fingers. So the same lick, it sounds relatively the same, just using different fingers there. And so you can do it on different strings as well. So there's many different patterns you can do there. And now a real world example of where this lick is being used is a band who's relatively newer, but you will know the front man, Evan Stanley. He is the son of Paul Stanley. You guys should know Kiss. And he's doing his own thing. They've got their band. It's absolutely fantastic music. And in their song called Breakout, the beginning of the guitar solo, and I don't know if it's him or their other guitar player, Marshall, it goes like this. And so it starts off with the exact same principle, right? Those pull-offs. And then it starts moving up 1 fret at a time in your E string. And so that's a real world example of where that's happening. And so once you get that lick down, again, you can start moving it around and try and put it in different places that work to fit your style. So that's where I'm going to cap off the YouTube tutorial here. Again, as I said, if you want 2 additional licks as well as tabs to go along with all of these for your own collection, then feel free to check out my Patreon page, linked down in the description box below. And hey, if you guys have any pull-off hammer-on licks that I might have missed here, because there are plenty out there, or real-world examples that you might want me to take a look at in, say, a part 2 video if this one does well, then please feel free, let them go down in the comments and I'll check them out and look at adding them to a future video if I get enough suggestions on, oh, like, hey, this song has a really cool pull-off lick, and is it similar to this? And then I can respond to that. Or if it's not similar, then I can add it to a list and put it in another video. So I appreciate you guys being here. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe as well. And if you're just sticking on YouTube, until next time, keep on rocking.